one-day test rule through the middle of March. Those rapid tests will be covered under the same rule that requires insurance companies to pay for tests done at sites. If you have private insurance, you'll have to submit bills to get reimbursed.
The first Omicron variant case detected Wednesday in a patient who had recently returned to San Francisco from South Africa. The Michigan high school sophomore accused of shooting and killing 4 of his classmates is facing murder and terrorism charges. His parents are also investigation. His father bought the gun police say he used just before the shooting. The Supreme Court's conservative majority justices signaling they are ready to possibly overturn Roe v. Wade by deciding in favor of a Mississippi law that bans abortion with no exceptions after 15 weeks of pregnancy.
What was striking about it is they weren't deciding, they weren't talking about whether they should do it, but how. How they would essentially undo, maybe not overrule, but gut and undo Roe versus Wade. And leading the way, Chief Justice John Roberts.
That's ABC's Terry Moran. Well, the boys of summer may be on a winter break, but Major League Baseball is now officially in a lockout. The league and the players' union failing to reach an agreement on a new collective bargaining agreement by the midnight deadline. ESPN's Jeff Passan on what the owners want.
Major League Baseball wants very simply to keep salaries flat. They don't care if they pay players earlier. They don't care if they pay players later in their career. They just don't want to pay them more money. They want expanded playoffs. They want an international draft.
Players say they deserve more baseball's financial pie. It's the first baseball lockout since the 90s. You're listening to ABC News.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign, and only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them and cannot be relied on. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
For the first time since the deadly shooting on the set of the movie Rust in New Mexico, actor Alec Baldwin is talking about it in an exclusive interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos. Baldwin says he never pulled the trigger when the gun went off during rehearsal.
How did a real bullet get on that set?
I have no idea. Someone put a live bullet in a gun, a bullet that wasn't even supposed to be on the property.
Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed by that bullet, and director Joel Sousa was injured by it. The full interview will air tonight on ABC, and then you can watch it on Hulu. 2 police officers in Utah are hurt, one critically after being shot last night. Police say they were looking for a suspect wanted for rape and robbery when they found him and a baby in an SUV at a convenience store. After convincing him to release the infant, West Valley City police officer Roxanne Vinukoval says things turned violent.
During that process of negotiation to try to get him to get out of the vehicle, at some point he exited the vehicle and fired upon the officers there, striking 2 of them.
The suspect was also shot. Federal judge has blocked a Texas law that was about to go into effect that would have allowed people to sue social media platforms if they believe they were banned because of their political views. And United Airlines jetting into history. It's now the first airline to run a commercial flight using 100% renewable fuel. A 737 MAX 8 flew more than 100 people from Chicago to Washington using fuel made without a drop of petroleum. This is ABC News.
Give the gift they want this year, a new iPhone 12 from Pure Talk for just $479. Pure Talk gives you great prices and great 5G coverage with unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. The average family saves over $800 a year. Just dial pound 250 and say Jill50, and you'll save 50% off your first month and save on a new iPhone. Dial pound 250 and say Jill50. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. It's a milder start to your morning, and we'll see another warm day ahead. Our highs today will be in the upper 60s and low 70s. We'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky for today. Partly cloudy to mostly clear overnight tonight. We're back in the mid to upper 40s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see a mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. And for Saturday, staying just as warm, slightly cooler, though, on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
I guess we couldn't ask for a better fall of the year, right? This weather is absolutely fantastic. Right now it's 38 degrees, warming up to 72 for our daytime high with the wind gusting to 17 miles per hour. Now, the only chance of rain I see, it is very slim, and that is coming in here on Monday. There is a 20% chance of precipitation on Monday, but otherwise clear to partly cloudy. 38 degrees currently here at WCAB in Rutherford. Now, I have these death announcements this morning. Steve Spence of Cliffside died Friday, November the 5th, at Mission Hospital in Nashville. A memorial service will be held 11 a.m. Saturday, December the 4th, at St. Francis Episcopal Church in Rutherford. Again, that's Steve Spence of Cliffside. Ronnie Hudson, 48, of Bostic, passed away Monday, November the 29th, at his home. A celebration of life will be held on Saturday at 2 o'clock at Golden Valley Church. The burial will be private, and arrangements have been entrusted to Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Service in Falston for Ronnie Hudson of Bostic. Clella Ann Zavada Barnes, age 83, of Rutherford, passed away Tuesday, November 30th, at her home. There will be no local service held at this time, and McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services is serving the family of Clella Ann Zavada Barnes. Skip Oldridge, 68, of Ellenboro, died Friday, November 19th. A visitation will be held from 3:30 until 5:30 Saturday, December the 4th, at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. Military rites will be rendered by the Rutherford County Honor Guard on the grounds of the funeral home at 5:30 following the visitation. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Skip Oldridge. Glenn Hoop Bridges, age 77, of Mooresboro, passed away Monday, November 29th, at Atrium Health, Cleveland and Shelby. The funeral service will be conducted at 12 o'clock Saturday, December 4th, at the Trinity Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. Harrelson Funeral Home is serving the family of Glenn Hoop Bridges. Dorothy Lane, age 80, of Rutherford, passed away Saturday, November 27th, at her residence. A celebration of Dorothy's life will be conducted on a date soon to be announced. The service will take place at the Rutherford Presbyterian Church. Harrelson Funeral Home, serving the family of Dorothy Lane. Hazel Hamilton DeBose, age 93, of Carver Street, Spindale, died November 25th at her home. Graveside services will be held today at 3 o'clock. The body will lie in state 1 hour prior to service at Wells Springs United Methodist Church. Please wear a mask if attending. Pruitt Funeral Home, serving the family of Hazel Hamilton DeVos. J.R. Lane, age 89, of Union Mills, passed away Tuesday, November 30th, at Accordius Health in Rutherford. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Saturday, December 4th, at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow the service. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service time at the funeral home, and Harrelson Funeral Cremation Service entrusted with those arrangements for J.R. Lane. Scott Bailey, age 62, of Rutherford, passed away Tuesday, November 30th, at Atrium Health, Cleveland and Shelby. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock on Friday, December 3rd, at Long Branch Road Baptist Church. Burial will follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park, with firefighters' honors being accorded by the Rutherford County Firefighters Honor Guard. Family will receive friends from 12:30 until 2 prior to the service at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Scott Bailey. Charles Doc Wyatt, age 91, passed away Thursday, November the 11th. A memorial service will be held today at the Western Carolina Veterans Cemetery in Black Mountain. Again, that's Charles Doc Wyatt.
Warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Thursday, let's take a look at the sad tale of Chris Cuomo, the CNN commentator host. Because the left-wing media has now turned on him, CNN has been forced to suspend Mr. Cuomo, which the network did not want to do. Long gone are any journalistic standards, but AT&T, which owns CNN, has to know its news agency is in grave danger, hemorrhaging viewers and insulting people with corrupt coverage of current events. When Governor Andrew Cuomo began to get accused of a variety of things, his brother Chris should have recused himself from covering the story. That's what honest journalists do. The fact that CNN did not insist on the recusal tells you all you need to know about that operation. Now, a New York State investigation into Andrew Cuomo has uncovered his brother's emails showing that Chris Cuomo used his media position to try to help his beleaguered brother, a violation of all ethics. Now, most Americans are unaware, in my opinion, of just how harmful the corporate media is to the welfare of this country. And this Chris Cuomo situation documents that. We need honest information in order to make intelligent decisions. Chris Cuomo and CNN did not provide that. Now this. Winter can put a freeze on your finances with expensive car repairs. Your best defense? Car Shield. Car Shield's administrators make taking care of covered repair easy. They handle the paperwork and expensive payments, so you don't have to. Car Shield can help save thousands. Please visit carshield.com/bill, and you'll save 10%. That's carshield.com/bill. A deductible may apply. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This is WCAB Rutherford, 590 AM, and now on FM at 100.9 FM.
Do you use Viagra or Cialis? Have you been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? What if we could promise you the same results for less than $2 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for Viagra, you're being taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $2. We'll do the math for you. You save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 45 blue pills or 45 yellow pills for $99 and add 5 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call us at 888-220-2142 and get your 50 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for Viagra. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in an unmarked package. Call us right now. 888-220-2142. That's 888-220-2142. 888-220-2142.
John Abernathy, or Jack as he was called, was born in Texas. At the age of 6, he and his older brother would sneak away from home and play piano and violin in the local saloon. Following a shootout in the saloon with several victims, his parents discovered what he was doing and ended his entertainment career. But that didn't inhibit the enterprising young man. By the age of 9, he was working as a cowboy, and at 11, he went on his first cattle drive. At 15, Jack was breaking horses for Charles Goodnight. Jack acquired a couple of greyhound dogs. He found they would hunt wolves. He also discovered a unique way to catch them alive by jamming his hand in the wolf's mouth. It worked so well that on December 1, 1891, he started catching wolves full-time. Getting paid $50 per wolf, Jack caught more than 1,000 wolves, supplying them to zoos and traveling shows. Jack later became a deputy U.S. Marshal in Oklahoma. President Theodore Roosevelt learned about Catch 'em Alive Jack and came out west to see his skills. He was so impressed with Jack that he made him Marshal of Oklahoma. As a lawman, Jack ended up seeing close to 800 outlaws go to prison. Jack was called to New York to become a Secret Service agent and for a short time even worked for the Mexican Secret Service. Returning to Texas in 1919, Jack became a wildcat oil driller, making and losing a fortune. John Abernathy, a man who had defied death literally thousands of times, finally succumbed, dying of natural causes in Long Beach, California, at the age of 65. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James has added 2 new sandwiches to his already delightful menu, along with the fresh-cooked burgers, sandwiches, fresh salads, hot dogs made to order. Now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Both come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford, or call 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now it's 7:17 on this Thursday morning. Let's head to the phones and start finding out what's been happening around our county overnight. And we stop first at the Sheriff's Department, and Deputy McClug is on the phone right now to give us that update. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Thanks for being with us. What's on the report?
Well, in the last 24 hours, we've had 22 arrests. We've had 180 calls for service, and there are currently 180 incarcerated in the Rutherford County Jail. In regards to incident reports, in Alfred Lynch from Ellenboro reported a felony larceny, some tools from his shed. Rutherford County Solid Waste reported a misdemeanor larceny. And a James Camp from Rutherfordton reported a financial transaction card fraud. And a Kelly Smith from Forest City reported a felony larceny of a motor vehicle. Arrest reports, we have a Davy Camp from Jobs Lake Road, Rutherfordton, failure to appear on misdemeanor. We've got a Devontae Hill from Cycle Run, Rutherfordton, failure to appear, misdemeanor larceny. A Joshua Price from Campfield Church Road, Ellenboro, a failure to appear on misdemeanor and a misdemeanor larceny. A Jacqueline Porter from Ridgecrest Avenue, Rutherfordton, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver Schedule 2, as well as Schedule 4, in possession of drug paraphernalia. And Arlo Swink from Rock Road, Rutherfordton, no operator's license and plate not registered, as well as a Maria Whiteside from Young's Drive, failure to appear on misdemeanor, and a Michelle Childress from West Main Street, Ellenboro, failure to appear on misdemeanor. A Brian Edwards from Tanglewood Acres, communicating threats. A Justin Rippey, failure to enroll as a sex offender. Elizabeth Feister, Chipmunk Trail from Lake Lore, larceny of a dog. Clarence Moore, Green Road, Forest City, assault on a female. And that's it for today.
We do appreciate the report. I hope you're safe out there today.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye.
David McClug reporting this morning from the Sheriff's Department at 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. We get to 911 report in just a moment. A man in his 80s died in a house fire Tuesday night on Tiny Road in Ellenboro. According to Rutherford County Fire Marshal Frankie Hemrick, the man was the owner of the one-story, three-bedroom house that caught fire. The victim's name has not yet been released as of yet. By this report, the fire originated in the living room, but the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Hemrick said, "We don't suspect arson or foul play." First responders were dispatched to the resident at 9:07 p.m. Tuesday night and were on the scene until approximately 2 a.m. Wednesday. Ellenboro, Sandy Mush, Boston, and Forest City Fire Departments all responded to the scene, as did one Cleveland County unit. Rutherford County EMS, the Fire Marshal's Office, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, and the State Bureau of Investigation also responded to that scene. Who? All right, let's check in with Tina now over at 911 Communications Center. Get the report from there. Hi, Tina. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on the report today?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 444 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 63 for emergency medical service, 180 for the Sheriff's Office, 75 for Forest City, 48 for Rutherfordton, 6 for Lake Lure, and 47 for Spindale. Under fire calls, we had Boston respond to a structure, we had Forest City respond to a fire alarm, and we had Forest City respond to a motor vehicle accident, and that's all we had.
Thanks, Tina. You have a great day now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. And SDO report coming up next. North Carolina issued statewide burn ban as wildfire continues to scorch iconic Pilot Mountain. Crews battled a forest fire at Pilot Mountain State Park in North Carolina. A massive forest fire on Pilot Mountain north of Winston-Salem shut down the state park November 28th. The fire was reported Saturday evening. Firefighters from multiple departments, including the U.S. Forest Service, came to help in that response. Fines will be imposed on those who violate the ban. The fire ban is under way right now, started Monday night, and it's still out there. And if you violate it, they catch you, they'll fine you. Here now is the SDO report, and Brenda, let's see, who we going? Brenda Kelly. I'll get my
Jim SDO.
Yes, I know where you are. Ruby Taylor. That's where he is, right. I've got everybody's name right here in front of me, and I just jumped the gun a little bit. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Seeing a little bit better?
Yeah, I just told Todd not to call me anymore, and I got to be at the doctor's office at 8 o'clock.
Oh, my.
They didn't have any fire calls, and on my birthday calendar I got Danny Toms and Lois Radford having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the secrets today and going to the thighs tomorrow. And that's all I got, Jim.
Well, you have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197. And we're going up to Fairfield Mountains Fire District now to check with Gary Wilson, see how things are up there, if it's nice and quiet or if they're all geared up for the weekend. Gary, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing good. Hope you're doing well.
Doing well. Did you get all my presents wrapped last night?
You what?
Did you get all my presents wrapped last night?
I'm still missing some wrapping paper for that last week, Gary, but I'll get that done this weekend.
Just get the same thing you got last year, different color, be all right.
That's right. That'll work. Yep.
Yeah, we're quiet up here this morning. Pretty morning out here. It's like about 40 degrees and mostly clear skies. Got a few scattered clouds around, but still we're needing some rain, Dad, and don't look like we're going to be any inside for a while. It's getting dry conditions, low humidity, and the winds are calm. That's one good thing in their favor so far. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Well, we've had no calls overnight. It's been quiet overnight, so can't complain about that. And everything's good to go up here this morning in the valley, I believe.
Well, we're supposed to have a gust wind up to 17 miles per hour today with gusts, so that's not a good thing.
No, it's not. Hopefully we'll shake some rain loose somewhere next few days. But
yeah, it'd be nice.
Pretty slim.
And forest fire over at Pilot Mountain State Park seems to be a massive fire going on.
Yeah, they have a few hundred acres down there burning, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I hope they get
It's surprising how many people are still going out and burning, and the fire department getting dispatched to it to put it out. Everybody just needs to hold off.
Yeah.
They're burning down in statewide, and they need to respect that. But they do it for a reason. But we'll hang in there and see what happens, I guess.
Keep out on things for us, Gary. We appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Talk to you then.
Thanks. That's Gary Wilson, been a long-time reporter for us from various locations, and we're still happy to have him on from the Fairfield Mountains and Bills Creek area. It's 7:25. Could you use an extra $8,000, maybe $1,500 or $500? Your opportunity to brighten things up this year is here. The 2021 Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce raffle tickets are now available. Only 500 tickets will be sold, and you could win $8,000, $1,500, or $500. 3 winners and tickets are available now at the Chamber office, Main Street, Rutherfordton, and here at WCAB. Our Chamber board members have them. The drawing this year will be held December 17th, live on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM at 8:10, and it will be live streamed. Be a part of supporting the Chamber with your purchase of a raffle ticket. Tickets are $50, and the chances of winning $8,000, $1,500, or $500 are phenomenal. Have some fun. Buy a ticket and listen for the winning number. December 17th at 8:10. You know what? It could be you. 2 weeks from tomorrow, that drawing will be held right here live in our studio. If you not have your ticket yet, be sure to see me after 9 o'clock this morning, and we'll take care of that for you. Now, 26 past 7, let's go talk with DeVern over in Bostic, see what's happening over there. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm feeling good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. We have 40 degrees over here in Bostic. The next couple of days are supposed to be real pretty, so we need to get out and enjoy that. Bostic Fire Department responded to a woods fire, and they encourage everyone not to be burning until we get some rain. Bostic Florist has raffle tickets. They'll have those up till December the 17th. And from 9 to 1, Washburn's Outreach Center will be giving out boxes of food. So if you need one, go by and get one. And as you pass by, stop in at Washburn store and check them out. Check their Christmas candy out. And you could even get Ann or Catherine to make you one of those good bologna sandwiches. And stop in at Whistle Stop Bakery there on Main Street and get your goodies there. Hope everyone has a safe day.
Thanks, DeVern. You have a safe day as well. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Let's check in now with the Hudlow Fire District. Mr. Bob Hodge, you doing okay today?
We're doing just fine over here on this Thursday morning. You're looking good, so.
Well, thank you.
So I believe everything's going to be okay today.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day, and you and I, Regina, happy over there, and that makes me happy.
That's right. If Mama's happy, everybody's happy there.
You got that right.
Oh, well, we're doing good up here this morning with things running along pretty quiet, and with the fire department, we've answered a couple of medical calls. And let's see, Piedmont Pleasant Hill Community Club is having their visit with Santa Claus on Saturday, December the 11th, and that's from 12 to 3 p.m., and that's for 8 years and under. And, Jim, that's about it up here. Things are going along good, and maybe we'll have a good day.
Well, I hope you do, and get out and enjoy this beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Well, let's see if anything's been going on over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How you feeling?
Doing good. Another beautiful morning over here. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. Have one birthday on my church calendar for Jerry Catlin. So I hope Jerry's going to have a good day. Nothing on my personal calendar today. Don't have anything on Fairview's calendar. First Broad's got a birthday for Margaret McFarland, so happy birthday to Margaret. And we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And they got a beautiful day for it. In my announcements, the Fairview Baptist Church will be having a drive-through nativity. That'll be on 2 nights, the 11th and 12th. It starts at 6 p.m., goes to 8 p.m. And First Broad will be having their Christmas program on the 12th, and it starts at 6 p.m. And so far, I believe that's the only announcement I have. It's just getting started on some of the Christmas goings on, but we're looking forward to all the good things that happen during the month of December. Man, you said yesterday we weren't going to have no snow.
Not for a while. It doesn't look like it. We'll have to really do a lot of dancing, snow dancing. I know.
Well, I hope you'll have a good day today, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You too, and we'll keep our snow dance going. Maybe we'll change things around a little bit.
Yeah, I tell Lucy's going to make an extra effort.
I know it. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 7:32. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
We're waiting on a contact there with Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostic, see if they can take a little break to talk with us a little bit this morning. Meanwhile, let me remind you that 2 weeks from tomorrow is the day we do the big drawing for the Chamber of Commerce raffle. Big day. A lot of money be given away that day. And it could be you if you have a ticket, but you got to buy a ticket in order to be eligible to win. You do not have to be present to win, because we're going to do it live on the radio. We'll have right here, Draw It Live. We'll have our camera, our video going here in the studio, and also we'll Facebook that as well. So a lot of people will be able to see and hear who the winner is. So get your ticket now. They're going pretty fast. I don't know how many of them there are left, but I have a few left here. They keep bringing me more. As I sell out, they'll bring me more. So let's get them real fast before it's all over with. It would like to be a complete seller. They're only selling 500, so the good odds that you could be in that winning category. So get your tickets early. See me when I get off about 9:30 this morning. I'll be glad to take care of you, or you can go by the chamber office and pick them up, and or any chamber board member has them as well, and you can buy one most any place, and I'll be glad to take you.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Busy over to Drop In Family Mart there in Boston. They usually are busy at breakfast time, but sometimes they can itch out a little time to talk with us and tell us, sort of get our appetite going about what's cooking for breakfast. They have a tremendously good breakfast, and folks are recognizing that and coming in from all directions to enjoy breakfast there. Biscuits and sausage and bacon and liver mush, and they'll scramble your eggs, or they'll cook them sunny side up, or put them in a biscuit for you. Ever how you want it fixed, they can do that. Plus, they got a fresh meat market there at the store as well. You don't find that in many stores, but they've got one there. It's tradition there at Drop In. Sammy's before, and now they're continuing that tradition of fresh meat market. So you can do a lot of grocery shopping there with your carts up and down the aisle, and fresh produce comes in just about every week. So it's a great place to make your regular shopping, grocery shopping stops at the Drop-In Family Mart there on Bostic Sunshine Highway. We hope you'll do that. Maybe stop in time to have breakfast or lunch. The chicken is outstanding, folks. 7:36, we're going on up to Shingle Hollow now, and Tina White's up and at 'em and ready to talk to us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning from Shingle Hollow.
How are you doing?
I am doing great. It is another beautiful morning up here. Great place to be, great place to live. Sun's bright, 39 degrees, so it's chilly. Remind everyone there's a burning ban. Don't be burning anything. Today on the birthday calendar, I have Miss Brenda Hammond. Hope she has a wonderful birthday. There's none on Pleasant Grove. Both the Shingle Hollow and Green Hill Fire Departments were all quiet in the past 24 hours. Thankful for that. Today and tomorrow, Pilgrims Way Baptist Church is finishing up their after Thanksgiving Jubilee. They have 2 services each day, one at 10 a.m. and one at 7 p.m. today and tomorrow. And they have special singing both days. They invite everyone to come out and enjoy this. White House Community Clubhouse is having a turkey shoot every Saturday from now to Christmas. 11 a.m. is when it starts. So come to the White House Community Clubhouse and enjoy a turkey shoot. Piney Knob Baptist Church wants to invite everyone to their children's Christmas program. That will be on December 12th at 6 p.m. And their adult Christmas program will be on December 19th at 6 p.m. Everyone's invited to that as well. And as far as I know, that's all we have going on up here in this beautiful part of the county.
You got big plans today?
I do have plans today. We are going to Grove Park Inn to see the gingerbread houses.
Oh, boy. That's a nice venture. That's a nice visit to make.
Oh, we love to do it every year. I've been doing it, well, except for last year, but we've been doing it every year since my first husband and I started doing this. And then when he passed, I just continued.
Yeah. I've seen it a few times in various meetings. I've always wanted to go by and pinch a finger off one of those gingerbread men and just sort of see how it tastes.
Well, I don't want to do that because it's such beautiful work. It's hard to believe everything is edible, and it's free. You have to pay to park.
Yeah.
And then that goes to a local charity. The parking the money they get from parking, but you can take as many people as you want to go. And then there's no cost.
That's great.
So,
well, enjoy.
People's hard work. Yes. Everybody stay safe out there today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
Have a good trip. We'll see you then.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. That's Tina White there in Shingle Hollow reporting in this morning. It's 7:39, 38 degrees. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records and can become overwhelming. unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled ARYEE. 7:40, now let's head up toward Union Mills and get a report from Brenda Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous Thursday morning?
I was just sitting here thinking how happy I am to be alive.
Me too. I'm above ground.
Yes.
And I can see the sun coming up, and I can see all the smoke settling in the valley here.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a forest fire back here in McDowell County. If you go out my back door and go through the woods, it might be 20 miles over to it.
Yeah, I read something about that one over there. Of course, that's a big one over at Pilot Mountain, too. So that's two fires we don't need to get out of hand anymore.
That's exactly right. But it is what it is. People need to be careful. They need to listen and don't burn.
Yeah.
But
you were talking about sunrise. Did you see that sunset yesterday afternoon?
Yes, I did. Wasn't that beautiful?
That was absolutely beautiful. It really was.
I took my dogs out on the front here, and I said, "Come on, children, we're going to see the sunset." and they went out there and sat on the front step and just looked. They didn't know what they was looking at.
Well,
But I took them out there.
That's good. That's beautiful sights.
It was. God paints a beautiful picture. Man cannot paint it that good.
Nope.
But we hope everybody's having a good morning. I've got 36 degrees on the front porch this morning. I don't have but one birthday. And this is a very special young lady to me, Miss Isla Cole. That's Ernie Cole and Karen's granddaughter. So we hope she has a great old big day on her special day. And then ways of announcement, Piedmont Pleasant Hill Community Club lunch with Santa Claus, Saturday, December the 11th, 12 noon to 3 p.m. This is for children 8 years and younger. And then Friday, December the 3rd, Union Mills Learning Center, 6 p.m., ham or turkey meal, and the cost is $7. 7 p.m., Homegrown will open the music program. Deep Roots, which is the Jackson family, will also play. No admission, but they have a tip jar for the band. And then Christmas party at the Union Mills Community Club, December the 4th. Eat at 6 p.m. Bring a well-filled picnic basket. We'll have door prizes. Bring a gift. Selling raffle tickets $1 each or 6 for $5. First prize is $100. Second prize $75. Third prize $50. And fourth prize a handmade quilt. Tickets on sale at the door, or you can see Faye Flynn or Christine Almonds to buy tickets. And other than that, I don't have nothing. It's short, sweet, and quiet and beautiful up here.
Well, enjoy the day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
Thanks, Brenda. Well, it is an important time for us in this time of season is Christmas, and thinking about friends and family and loved ones that we appreciate. And I don't know any better place to go find a perfect gift for that person than Washburn General Store. They have so many things, and you can also find that Christmas candy. Just don't get all those coconut bonbons before I get over there, because that's my favorite. So leave a bag of them for me, and shop up and down the aisle and find something unique, something different that your friend and your family member will appreciate. Say, oh, I needed one of those. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Or have them do a gift basket for you. They do a tremendous job with that. You'll enjoy your Christmas shopping days at Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Now let's head over toward Ellenboro and see what's up. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. Nice morning down here. The sun's coming up, and we're up, raring to go, and everything's going good.
Well, where are you going?
Nowhere.
Okay. Just want to make sure
I get lost if I go too far.
Just want to make sure you wasn't leaving town.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
Did you
But
know?
It's quiet out this morning.
Did you know the
Do
gentleman?
what?
Did you know the gentleman that was died in the house fire?
No, I didn't. I didn't know him. I wasn't familiar with him. Just sad situation, but
Yes, he is.
things happen. But that was yesterday. Today's another day. Pretty quiet down here this morning. Nothing going. Well, the fire department didn't have anything yesterday. They were quiet yesterday. No calls there. They just nothing going down here this morning. Everybody's trying to get their gas and head on out to work and all that. But want my everybody's parade coming up this coming Sunday downtown Edinburgh at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So everyone's invited to just come on out and enjoy a good parade. And Jim, nothing else going on down here. So you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Stay in touch, and we'll see you then.
All right, take care now.
Bye. Well, it's birthday time for this second day of December. It's time to call your birthdays into us and let us celebrate with you. Give you a big shout out on your birthday or anniversary. Todd's standing by out there to take that call at 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up next.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherford.
Well, every Tuesday morning through Saturday morning, you can enjoy a Granny B's breakfast. That's right, Tuesday through Saturday morning, starting at 7 o'clock. Enjoy Granny B's breakfast with biscuits, sausage, and bacon, and eggs, and all that good thing that have a breakfast that you want to sit down and enjoy, or you can order it and take it with you. Do that this morning. Maybe take it to work with you. Have a little time for breakfast. Everybody needs a little breakfast. Granny B's got one. You know the success of Granny B's delicious De La Donuts and the pizza that they're serving now as well. Plus their subs. Now breakfast is outstanding as well. Try and see. See if you like breakfast with Granny B. They're in Spindale.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday wishes going out to Iris Alexandro in Forest City. She's having a birthday today. Roy Elton also is having a birthday. And George Hughes across the road there at Farmer's Friend. It's his birthday today as well. Roger Hoyne's having a birthday also. And the birthdays today also include Charles Ringling of the circus, Ringling Brothers Circus. He was born in 1863. Gianna Versace, 1946, was born, died in 1997. Stone Phillips, he's a news host. 1954, he was born. 1981, Britney Spears was born. Just a kid. 1901, King C. Gillette began selling safety razor blades. 1927, the first Model A Ford sold for $395. Now it costs you that much to put gas in one. 1932, Adventures of Charlie Chan's first heard on the radio. Adventures of Charlie Chan. Used to watch him on TV. 1933, Fred Astaire. First film released, Dancing Lady. And National Space Education Day, National Mutt Day, and National Fritters Day. Now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB in Rutherford. Keys to Confident Living coming up next.
Around the turn of the century, young Clarence took his girlfriend for an outing and picnic lunch at a nearby lake. Clarence lovingly rode in the hot sun while his friend relaxed beneath the shade of her parasol. They finally reached their destination, a small island in the center of the lake. After placing all their supplies beneath the shade tree, she sweetly reminded him that he had forgotten to bring the ice cream. Remembering his promise, he rode back to the mainland. He found a small store, bought the ice cream, and made his way back across the lake. On his way up the hill to where his girlfriend was sitting, she inquired whether he had remembered the chocolate syrup. Now, love is a strange motivator. So Clarence got back in the boat and rowed to the mainland once again. Halfway back to the island, Clarence stopped his rowing and spent most of the remaining afternoon dreaming about a faster and easier way to travel across the water. By the end of the afternoon, the Evinrude outboard motor had been created in Clarence Evinrude's mind. Are you like young Clarence, going through a time of testing or difficult circumstances? Rather than complaining, ask yourself how you can turn those trials and adversities into stepping stones for success and growth. The Bible says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM
We have deep concerns about Russia's plans for renewed aggression against Ukraine. That would move us in exactly the opposite direction, and it's simply not in anyone's interest.
That statement made while Blinken was alongside the Russian foreign minister. Russian officials say they are concerned about a growing conflict in eastern Ukraine. The Women's Tennis Association now says it is suspending all tournaments in China over concerns about player Peng Shuai. She disappeared for a couple of weeks after posting on social media that she had been sexually abused by a former government official. Since then, the former world #1 in doubles has only appeared on video with Chinese officials. ABC's Chuck Sievertson now has the story of a get well card that went way above and beyond.
After open heart surgery less than a month ago, Alexander McLeish in Attleboro, Massachusetts received a get well card from a friend with 3 instant scratch-off lottery tickets enclosed. The Massachusetts State Lottery says McLeish scratched the Your Letters section of the ticket, and the first 3 letters revealed were A, W, and M, his initials. Then the word that appeared on the bottom row of his winning puzzle was heart. McLeish won $1 million. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. The warm-up continues and we'll see temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s this afternoon. We'll see a day full of sunshine as well. Expect a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. For tonight, we'll see a mostly clear sky. Temperature starting in the mid to upper 40s for your Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Staying just as warm on Saturday, but temperatures slightly cooler on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Zach, thank you very much. Thank you for staying inside the Weather Center to keep us posted on the weather and the changes. Right now we are 39 degrees here at WCAB in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road and warming up to 72 and wind gusting to about 17 miles per hour. Looks like today's wind gust is going to be the heaviest that we're going to have for the next little while. Everything else, it's pretty light wind except next Tuesday be gusting to 10 miles per hour, but then 13 on next Wednesday. But today is going to be the heaviest wind we have for a while. Not much rain in sight either. And that burning ban went in place Monday night, still in effect for all of this area, all of North Carolina, as a matter of fact. So be aware of that. I got some news from here and there in just a moment. Also, we have a little humor this hour. We're going to read some headlines from some papers across the country, how they label their headlines, and some funny news stories. Plus, some of you have asked about how come I hadn't done Milton Crabapple in a while. Well, we put him to rest, but he'll be back. We'll have him back on this hour as well. So hang around. We have a lot of fun this hour. Hope you will hang around with us.
Our biggest holiday deals are on now at Carolina West Wireless's Keep On Giving event. Save $400 on the new Samsung Galaxy S21, S21 Plus, or S21 Ultra when you sign up for select unlimited plans. Give the gift of better connection to everyone on your holiday shopping list with unlimited data that keeps on giving all year long. Just $35 a month per line for 4 lines. Receive a $100 Fanatic C code with any new activation on our premium unlimited plan. Hurry in to Carolina West Wireless to celebrate deals that keep on giving. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Sort of a sad story to report here in Rutherford County. A man in his 80s died in a house fire Tuesday night in Ellenboro on Tiny Road. According to Rutherford County Fire Marshal Frankie Hemrick, the man was the owner of the one-story, 3-bedroom house that caught fire. The victim's name has not yet been revealed. The fire originated in the living room, but the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Fire Marshal Hemrick said they do not expect arson or foul play. First responders were dispatched to the residence at 9:07 and were on the scene until approximately 2 a.m. Wednesday. Departments from around the area also supported them and were out there in that firefight. Always sad to hear those kind of things when people lose their life. Lose their possessions, one thing, but losing their life is sad, sad, sad. Meanwhile, the Daily Courier is reporting about supporters of Out of the Ashes were thrilled to learn in late June that the organization was awarded a grant of nearly $1.2 million from Dogwood Health Trust. The gift enabled Out of the Ashes to purchase a new campus and eventually expand services. But Out of the Ashes expansion has been delayed. While there has been frustration and some disappointment because of unforeseen delays, Pat Chamberlain is determined to see the organization continue to grow and serve more people in this area. Chamberlain is founder and executive director of Out of the Ashes, which is the nonprofit organization that provides homeless shelter service along with support and guidance for addiction recovery. The organization is faith-based and non-discriminatory. It currently operates a men's shelter on Old Ross Road and a women's shelter in Cliffside. All shelter service will be considered to the new, we consolidated to the new location, 131 Countryside Drive in Forest City. The new campus is a former church facility with 14,300 square feet on 7.4 acres. The new facility will increase total capacity from 25 beds to 70 beds. There are now 13 men and 10 women staying in Out of the Ashes facilities, but Chamberlain says there could be more if the new facility was open for residents. The new campus is being used on a limited basis, but not for overnight residents. Some classes are held there. The COVID pandemic made the challenges of securing a contractor and other qualified people needed to do the work even more. Through the Ashes hasn't met its original timeline. Progress is being made, and Chamberlain is hopeful that work will begin on the new sprinkler system in January. Before that could happen, Out of the Ashes had to have architecture and engineering plans produced. More government regulations that they had to endure before they could get going. Well, a Union County, North Carolina sheriff's deputy used his patrol vehicle to stop a speeding impaired driver on Wednesday morning. UCSO told Fox 46 that a chase began around 11:45 a.m. Wednesday, December 1st, involving a driver who was speeding, reaching 90 miles per hour, traveling in the wrong lane of traffic on the Monroe Expressway. The driver has been identified as Salama Horn of Bessemer City. Deputies said Horn eventually exited the Monroe Expressway, traveled on Unionville Indian Trail Road, and then tried to cross over the expressway bridge and re-enter oncoming traffic on the Monroe Expressway. A deputy involved in the pursuit used his patrol car to ultimately stop the suspect. Horn was transported to the hospital for treatment of her injuries. While being treated, the UCSO Safe Unit deputy conducted a driving while impaired test. Sheriff said the deputy, and she certainly was impaired. The deputy involved was not injured in the incident. Union County Sheriff's Office said, "I'm thankful for the combined efforts of the law enforcement agencies involved with the arrest of the suspect. Our deputy chose to risk his own health and well-being in order to ensure the safety of the general public. I'm thankful that he is not hurt, and I'm proud that he is part of the Union County Sheriff's Office," Sheriff Cathy said in a written statement released on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, down in Spartanburg, South Carolina, a Spartanburg County man was arrested, accused of suffocating his wife with a plastic bag before trying to kill himself. Once they arrived on the scene, they found a woman dead and an unresponsive man. The Spartanburg County Coroner's Office identified the woman as Patricia Lucas Berry, 65. According to the Sheriff's Office, EMS was able to revive the man identified as Carl Frederick Berry, Jr., 67, and took him to the hospital. Based on evidence at the scene, the Spartanburg County Coroner's Office suggested the woman's death was not natural, and the incident appeared to be a murder and attempted suicide. Once Berry Jr. was stable at the hospital, deputies said he confessed that he suffocated his wife by placing a plastic bag over her head and then attempting to take his own life by overdosing. Berry Jr. remained in the hospital until yesterday at approximately 4:40 when he was discharged and arrested for his wife's murder. Berry Jr. is currently being held at the Spartanburg County Slammer on no bond. Meanwhile, several firefighters with the Lake Lure Volunteer Fire Department in Rutherford County are pulling double duty as they work to extinguish the Huntsville Mountain Fire in McDowell County. Dustin Lancaster, chief of the Lake Lure Volunteer Fire Department, said, "We've got 2 or 3 firefighters out of this department that live and also volunteer as firefighters in McDowell County. And a couple of our guys worked with the North Carolina Forest Service as well. 5 years ago, almost to the day, Lake Lure Volunteer Fire Department, with help from many surrounding crews, including some from McDowell County, were finally able to get the Party Rock fire under control. The fire, which scorched more than 7,000 acres, took 2.5 weeks to extinguish," Waycaster said. Fortunately, he said there were no reported injuries or property damage. It involved 3 counties and burned through multiple fire districts. Waycaster said we had a lot of structures to work around and protect. That was in the main thing. In his 20-year career in the fire service, Lake Lure Volunteer Fire Department Assistant Chief Chris Melton said the Party Rock fire was the toughest he had battled. Some extremely rough conditions to hike up to the fire where it originally started. Fighting the fire there was pretty much a cliff right below you, so you had to be careful how you stepped and where you stepped. But they are fighting those fires. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all the firefighters that risk their lives for other people. LeBron James, you know that name. Many of you know that name from sports. He has reportedly tested positive for coronavirus and entered COVID safety protocols, meaning he'll miss Tuesday's L.A. Lakers game. The Lakers did not say whether James, who has said he is vaccinated, said fully vaccinated. LeBron James test positive for COVID, and only that he'd entered the association's isolated procedures. But Michael Babcock, the executive director of TMZ Sports, said James took 3 COVID tests on Tuesday and 2 were positive, but he had the shots already. And still, he got it. Well, we're going to have a little fun this hour, do some things a little differently, but I do want to remind you, though, however, that fire ban, burning ban, is in effect. As wildlife continues to scorch iconic Pilot Mountain, crews battle a forest fire at Pilot Mountain State Park. A massive forest fire on Pilot Mountain north of Winston-Salem shut down the state park November the 28th. The fire was reported Saturday evening. Firefighters from multiple departments, including the U.S. Forest Service, came to help in that response. And fines will be imposed on anyone who violates the ban, which went into effect on Monday night for all of North Carolina. So please honor that and don't even think about starting a little fire in the back to burn leaves. I mean, it can easily get out of hand. It's dry as it is. No rain much in sight. Just don't even test it. Piling those leaves up for a period of time won't hurt anything. I know you don't like them now. You want to get rid of them, but don't burn anything right now. It's not worth the effort to do that, and stand a chance of it getting out of hand. It's going to be breezy today as well. Those wind gusts up to 17 miles per hour today. 10 miles per hour on a normal basis, then there'll be some gusts up to 17. So it's going to be, it'll get out of hand real quick. Before you know it, that gust of wind comes in and can blow a spark anywhere. So let me caution you again. Don't even throw a lighted cigarette out the window. Just don't even do that. Use your ashtray in your car. That's what they put them there for. Don't even flip one out the window, please. 60 minutes after 8 o'clock.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines, and November is Diabetes Month. Get 10% off diabetic socks for the month of November at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Well, my friend down at Anchor down in Forest City is wanting me to let you know they got a lot of things going on, and they're causing a lot of excitement with their store-wide markdowns. Everything in the store is $5 or less, with the exception of the furniture and a few other items, but furniture is half price, and everything else is $5 or less. And I'm talking new stuff. Anchor Down makes your shopping trip worthwhile. Anchor Down has small appliances, curtains, toys, collectibles, a lot of Christmas ideas, trees, wreaths, clothes, shoes, books, and much, much more. Everything in the store is $5 or less. Did you get that part about or less. $5 or less. Furniture is half price, and you will find some beautiful furniture. Anchor Down gets in new items every week. All I can say is you just have to go by and see for yourself. It's Anchor Down, 155 West Main Street, Forest City, right across the street from Carolina Chiropractic. 10 to 5, Tuesday through Friday. It's a shopper's paradise. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you like to find good things at a discounted price. Well, we have the Sheriff's Report with Deputy McClug coming up here in just a few moments. And also this hour we got funny headlines and actual headlines that were printed, and they turn out to be kind of funny. Well, let me just quickly give you, I know many of you watching and studying the Supreme Court on this overturning Roe versus Wade. Here's what happens if Supremes overturn Roe. The Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments today in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health, a case that could potentially overturn the Roe versus Wade precedent, which enshrines elective abortions throughout the first 6 months of pregnancy nationwide. Overturning Roe would not outlaw abortion in the U.S., but would instead allow individual states to restrict abortion in the first 2 trimesters. According to the New York Times, some states would enforce laws that restrict abortion, such as the 6 weeks abortion ban in Texas, which is at the center of another Supreme Court case. U.S. abortion is out of touch with the rest of the world. In fact, the U.S. is just one of 7 countries, including China and North Korea, that allows elective abortion past 20 weeks. Lenient abortion laws in states like New York and California would not be affected by the end of Roe, the Times reported. 7 states have no abortion bans at any point during pregnancy, according to the Guttmacher Institute, and overturning Roe would not impose any new abortion restrictions on these or other states which choose legal abortion on demand in the late stages of pregnancy. Trigger bans, abortion bans that would go into effect automatically if Roe is overturned, are in effect in 12 states, according to the Guttmacher Institute. Several other states have pre-Roe bans that were never removed from law, which could go back into effect if Roe's precedent was revoked, although states could also remove these pre-Roe restrictions. Only 17 states have trigger laws or pre-Roe laws which would ban or restrict abortion in the first trimester. The remaining states with trigger laws, pre-Roe laws, or both would restrict abortion in the second and third trimester. The abortion law at the center of the Dobbs case bans most abortions after 15 weeks, so its impact on Mississippi will be minor if it's upheld by the court, as the state's only licensed abortion clinic does not offer that. So it is a complicated issue, but it is something that they need to deal with, and our hearts and thoughts and prayers are that the Supreme Court justices will make the right choice and start moving us in the direction, recognizing that babies have a right to live if they've been conceived. Here is Deputy McClug now with our Sheriff's Report from earlier this morning.
Well, in the last 24 hours, we've had 22 arrests. We've had 180 calls for service, and there are currently 180 incarcerated in the Rutherford County Jail. In regards to incident reports, Alfred Lynch from Ellenboro reported a felony larceny, some tools from his shed. Rutherford County Solid Waste reported a misdemeanor larceny. And a James Camp from Rutherfordton reported a financial transaction card fraud. And a Kelly Smith from Forest City reported a felony larceny of a motor vehicle. Arrest reports, we have a Davy Camp from Jobs Lake Road, Rutherfordton, failure to appear on misdemeanor. We've got a Devontae Hill from Cycle Run, Rutherfordton, failure to appear, misdemeanor larceny. A Joshua Price from Campfield Church Road, Ellenboro, a failure to appear on misdemeanor and a misdemeanor larceny. A Jacqueline Porter from Ridgecrest Avenue, Rutherfordton, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver Schedule 2, as well as Schedule 4, in possession of drug paraphernalia. And Arlo Swink from Rock Road, Rutherfordton, no operator's license and plate not registered, as well as a Maria Whiteside from Young's Drive, failure to appear on misdemeanor, And a Michelle Childress from West Main Street, Ellenboro, failure to appear on misdemeanor. A Brian Edwards from Tanglewood Acres, communicating threats. A Justin Rippey, failure to enroll as a sex offender. Elizabeth Feister, Chipmunk Trail from Lake Lore, larceny of a dog. Clarence Moore, Green Road, Forest City, assault on a female. And that's it for today.
Well, whatever happened to Sheriff Milton Crabapple? Well, we'll have him back in after the next segment, after sports update. We'll have him back. It's been a while since we've aired, and we'll do some of the best of Milton Crabapple. Some of you said, Jim, you haven't done Milton Crabapple in a while. Well, I have not. It's been a lot of complicated issues, and I wanted you to know about. But we will do Milton Crabapple coming up here in just a few months, along with some humorous headlines from newspapers. So the next 30-minute segment is going to be kind of lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? It will make you smile a little bit, maybe. Smiling's good, you know. Laughing out loud's even better.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. We start with college hoops action and the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Carolina bounced back from back-to-back losses against ranked teams by rolling number 24 Michigan 72-51 at the Dean Smith Center. The UNC crowd honored ESPN announcer Dick Vitale with a standing ovation before the game. Dickie V recently returned to work as he receives treatment for lymphoma. Head coach Hubert Davis talked about the fun atmosphere in the Dean Smith Center.
I can't remember the last time I walked through the tunnel and it was that full. There was a lot of energy. When we got in and we were in the huddle right before we went out for the jump ball, I looked at them and I said, guys, this is why you came to Carolina. They all just had a big smile on their face. And I said, well, let's enjoy it and let's play hard and let's have fun. And they did that tonight.
And NC State defeated Nebraska 104-100 in a 4-overtime marathon, the longest game ever in the history of the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Head coach Kevin Keats after that.
Man, I don't know if I want this day to end. My team played extremely hard. Never doubted that we were going to win the game.
Other North Carolina men's D1 college programs in action last night. Appalachian State bewildered Boyce 90-29. NC Central edged South Carolina Upstate 67-65. UNC Asheville took the Citadel 65-58. Western Carolina whooped Warren Wilson 102-47. And Norfolk State topped UNCW 74-69. On the pro court, Giannis dropped a driving layup with 2 seconds left to give Milwaukee a 127-125 win over the Hornets. LaMelo Ball had a career-high 36 for the Hornets. Ball made a fadeaway three-pointer with 5.9 seconds left to pull the Hornets even at 125 before the eventual loss. Head coach James Borrego afterward.
Took this team to the wire, led for probably most of this game. Just stay with it. It's going to turn. So I love this group. We'll add more depth over the next few days. We'll get healthy. Full steam ahead. We move forward.
This is NCN Sports.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com. Experts. See more at alternativepower.com.
With the new law, more people qualify for financial assistance at healthcare.gov. Real customers like Taylor.
I wish people knew how easy it was to get health coverage. This new law has made it so affordable. I'm only paying $52 a month, but there are quality plans for even less.
New law, lower prices, more people qualify. Enroll by December 15th at healthcare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For the first time in a quarter century, there is a work stoppage in Major League Baseball.
There's no joy in Mudville with Major League Baseball's first lockout in 26 years. It began at midnight after players failed to ratify a new collective bargaining agreement. USA Today sports columnist Bob Nightingale.
Negotiations went nowhere, each side accusing the other one of stall tactics. It never came close to reach an agreement on the key economic issues.
Teams decided to force the long-anticipated confrontation during the offseason rather than risk players walking out during the summer as they did in 1994. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
In a letter to fans, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred wrote, "We hope the lockout will jumpstart negotiations and get us to an agreement that will allow the season to start on time." Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello and happy Thursday. The warm-up continues and we'll see temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s this afternoon. We'll see a day full of sunshine as well. Expect a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. For tonight, we'll see a mostly clear sky. Temperature starting in the mid to upper 40s for your Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Staying just as warm on Saturday, but temperatures slightly cooler on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. It's 41. We've risen from 38 to 41, climbing up to 72 for a fall temperature. 72 degrees today. And mostly sunny skies. It'll get up here pretty bright here pretty soon. And wind will be gusting about 17 miles per hour today. And dropping back to 42 tonight. So about where we are right now is our overnight low. So no ice on the wind chill in the morning. That sounds good, doesn't it? Beautiful, beautiful weather here in December. It's December already. We should be getting some cold weather. But the meteorologists tell us probably not going to have a white Christmas this year. So that's okay, I guess. We'll take whatever comes. We've been there, done that. We've had good weather, cold weather, warm weather, and crazy sloppy weather, but we always get through it. Decided to make this hour a little more lighthearted. I deal with some many heavy news stories, and it sort of bogs us down sometime. But we're going to break away that and sort of give you something to grin about. We all have a tendency to flub things up. I do here many times. If you ever keep a record of my flubs, you'll have a book you can write. But printing people in the printing business, newspaper business, they also. And even headlines on TV, the headlines they put out there sometime are misconstrued. If a headline reads, "Meteorite may be from space," or "Slowdown continues to accelerate," that's the way it's going to read forever. Here are some of the favorite funny newspaper headlines, which probably could have used another edit before they went to the printing press, but their loss, our gain, because we get more laughs out of it. So let's check some of these out. And some of these you'll maybe have to think about in a minute after I read them to you to get the punch of it. Here's a headline from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Forecasters call for weather on Monday. Now, the folks at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette make no promise about Tuesday, just Monday. Enjoy the weather on Monday while you have it, because the rest of the week could contain no atmosphere whatsoever. And for more total silliness, listen on up. Forecasters call for weather on Monday. How about this one? Amphibious pitcher makes debut. We knew Aquaman had bigger ambitions than just being the guy in Super Friends who can call dolphins, and for laughs, they misused the word ambidextrous pitcher entered the game against, but the headline was amphibious pitcher makes debut. So it's there forever. They're never going to change. Here's one. Cows lose their jobs as milk prices drop. It's always heartbreaking when a cow can't bring in a steady income. You know what I'm saying? But we're guessing that's not quite what the editors behind this unintentionally funny newspaper headline from the Baltimore Sun had in mind. Cows lose their jobs as milk prices drop. Here's one the Associated Press put in. I don't think they did the headlines. The newspaper probably did the headline. They just remembered the story. Miracle cure kills fifth patient. Yep, miracle cure kills fifth patient. You may want to look up definition of the word cure. We're pretty sure you're confusing it with deranged hospital serial killer, but that's how they headlined it out. Here's one from, I guess this was from The Sun. Man accused of killing lawyer receives a new attorney. Said his new lawyer, I just realized I failed my bar exam, so sorry, got to run. Yep. Charged in the murder of his former attorney, appointed another attorney for this defendant. Man accused of killing lawyer received a new attorney. How about this one? State population to double by 2040, babies to blame. Is it too late to stop this nefarious plot by babies? They may be small, but they're sneaky. State population to double by 2040, and babies are to blame for that. Mississippi's literacy program shows improvement. Now, that sounds okay, but you have to see it to know the humor about this. The supposed improvement doesn't include being able to correctly spell the state where they live. They spell it Missippi's literacy program shows improvement. Yep. They just misspelled it and bragging about the literacy program. Outpost had a headline said, breathing oxygen linked to staying alive. Can you believe that, folks? I didn't know that, did you? Breathing oxygen linked to staying alive. That's in the Outpost. Interesting. Groundbreaking discovery brought to you by the same scientific minds who discovered the link between walking and leaving the house. Here's another one. Police arrest everyone on February the 22nd. So that's where Grandma went. Police arrest everyone on February the 22nd. Interesting, huh? I don't know about some of those, but it is funny to take a look back at some of those and see what makes folks laugh. We all make mistakes, right? I think it shows some sense of maturity when you can laugh at your mistakes and laugh at your blunders, provided they're not really, really serious and hurt someone. But we all stumble. We all put the wrong syllable in the place. So let's sort of lighten up a little bit. Save ourselves a little bit of humor. All right, 8:35. We've got the man you requested we bring back from time to time, and we've done this guy over and over the years, and folks like him, and they laugh at him, and they think he's funny, and I do too. And he's somewhere up around Tennessee, maybe Knoxville, Pigeon Forge, up in that way. I think that's where he's from. Not sure exactly, but I'm not even sure if he's still living or not. But he goes by the moniker Milton Crabapple. He's the sheriff of Crabapple. So let's listen to some of the best of from Milton Crabapple.
But I like to travel in an automobile. I tell you something else I like to do. I like to stay on the ground floor. I go to a lot of these big hotels and make speeches, but I don't like to get on them elevators. I don't like elevators at all. No, sir, you can be in an elevator and that door will open up and there'll be a half a dozen folks standing there and they get wild-eyed and come rushing in on you like they're going to strangle you to death. And if there's a bunch of them behind you wanting off, they'll stampede you like a herd of longhorns if you ain't careful. I don't like it. We was down at the Hilton Hotel a while back, and I was going up on the elevator, going up to this room. We was just jammed in there like sardines back in the summertime. And this fella just kept staring at me. He was just standing right next to me, staring at me. Well, it made me uncomfortable. Finally, I looked at him. I said, "You got a problem?" He said, "I sure do." I said, "What is it?" He said, "Somebody's deodorant ain't working." I said, "Well, don't look at me. I don't wear the stuff." sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Milton Crabapple.
You know, this day and time, the economy being the way it is, there's a lot of folks in this country down and out. I wish I could help all of them, because I hate to see it, but there ain't nothing I can do about it either. I run into a friend of mine about 6 months ago, and I haven't seen him in several years, and he was down and out. Looked like he hadn't had a bath in a week, driving an old jalopy car, and his hands were just shaking. He looked awful. I said, "What in tarnation's wrong with you?" He said, "Well, everything, Milton." He said, "My wife's done run off and left me, took the kids, took everything I got." He said, "My business is failing, looks like it's going to go under any time, can't save it." He said, "I'm 3 or 4 payments behind on my house, my car. Looks like I'm going to lose them." I said, "Well, that's awful." I said, "You know, everybody has to bear a cross at some time in their life." And I said, "Let me give you a little piece of advice." I said, "You know, when I have a big river to cross, sometimes I just go home and get out the Bible and open it up and just start reading." I said, "Like as not, you'll find the answer right there before your eyes." He said, "Well, he'd think it over." Well, I run into that fella this week in Crabapple coming down the sidewalk. He was coming to see me, wearing a brand new suit of clothes, driving a new Oldsmobile, smoking a cigar about a foot long. He was just whistling a song. Said he'd come to see me and to thank me for my advice. He said, "You know, after you and me talked that day," he said, "I went home," and he said, "I closed the door there by myself." He said, "I got out my Bible and opened it up." Said, "I just closed my eyes, pointed my finger down on the page, and opened my eyes, and I read right where my finger was pointing." And he said, there the answer was in black and white. I said, "Well, what did it say?" And he said, "Chapter 11. But you know, there's a lot of hard times out there. This new government administration we got claims they're going to do away with unemployment. They're going to put everybody to work. Well, I'm just like Grandpa Crabapple. I believe you can put a fella on the job, but you just can't make him work if you don't want to work. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but Roosevelt had that idea back with the WPA program they put into effect. They was going to put everybody in the country to work. They redid that road down in front of my place for miles, them WPA workers, with picks and shovels and wheelbarrows. Back then, they didn't have no backhoes or nothing. Worked all day long on the job. They was on the job now. Government put them to work. Well, they ended up working, and they wore out all them shovels. You know, a shovel don't last but so long digging in the gravel. And the supervisor wired Washington, told them they'd run out of shovels. They needed some more. They said, well, they didn't have no more shovels. They said, every shovel in the country's out there on the job someplace. They said, we ain't got no more shovels. They said, we'll get you some shovels down there as quick as we can, but in the meantime, they'll just have to lean on each other. That's about the way them programs work, if you ask me. You know, sometimes the government just moves in on you and takes over, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. But now when that happens, I'll guarantee you life as you know it ain't ever going to be the same again. Prime example of what I'm talking about, I've got a great uncle that run a ferry down on the Chattahoochee River for years and years and years. 50 years he run a ferry. His name was Johnson Crabapple. He lived right there on that ferry in a little shack, and folks come along wanting to cross that river day or night. It didn't make no difference. They'd pay him 50 cents. He'd take them across the river. Well, you know, back a few years ago, the federal government, Park Service, bought all that river corridor. They bought all the land. They own it all now. And they came over to Johnson Crabapple and they said, you know, we own this place now where you're living, but they said, everything's going to be fine. You've been doing a good job running this ferry. He said, well, I've been doing it for 50 years. They said, well, everything's going to be fine. You just keep right on doing it. They said, we're going to make a couple of minor changes, but it ought to make things better for you. He said, what do you mean? They said, well, to start with, they was going to put him on the federal government payroll. They said, you're going to be working for the federal government. He said, what does that mean? He said, well, it means you're going to get a paycheck every 2 weeks, whether anybody crosses this river or not. Don't make no difference. You're going to get the same paycheck. He said, well, that sounded good. He said, that's all we're going to do. Well, they decided after that, after they put him on the payroll, to hire a supervisor to watch over him, to make sure that he run the fair the way he was supposed to. Of course, he'd been doing it for 50 years. But they hired this supervisor to supervise Johnson Crabapple. Well, the next thing they did, they hired a payroll officer to make sure that the supervisor and Johnson Crabapple got paid when they were supposed to. Make sure the checks come on time. Well, then they put on an accountant to make sure that the payroll officer took out all the right amount of taxes and all that stuff on it, make sure it worked out right. Well, they got to thinking that that ferry might not ought to be open 24 hours a day, so they hired a committee to study the thing. Thought they might ought to put it on a schedule. Well, anyhow, the end of the year come around, it come time to redo the contract. They had a meeting, they said the budget done got way too high, they was going to have to make some cutbacks. So they let Johnson go.
More Milton Crabapple coming up in just a moment.
Shop like Santa this holiday season and stuff your stocking with savings from Bark Mobile. If your gift list calls for a new phone under the tree, how about a free LG Stylo 6 when you switch? Already got a phone that jingles your bells? Bring your own device and save $100. From unlimited data for just $35 per month per line with 2 lines on autopay to a $50 Fanatics e-code with the Unlimited Plus plan, nobody does holiday savings like Bark. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Attention, time is running out. There are only a few days left in the annual enrollment period for Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans. Don't be one of those who didn't get their extra benefits. Stop what you are doing, pick up the phone, and call Tim Freshour. He will make sure you are getting everything you are entitled to, like no extra cost dental, vision, meals, rides, Part B give back, even up to $3,000 paid back to you. The annual enrollment period ends December the 7th. Don't miss out. Call Tim Freshour now at 828-302-2303.
When it comes to checking your Christmas list and checking it twice, check out B&D Thrift and Loan this year. They have a great selection of jewelry, appliances, musical instruments, electronics, toys, gaming systems, and brand new four-wheelers, 110, 125, and 150 cc's. B&D is still buying gold, so if you have old gold or jewelry lying around, bring it to B&D and turn that old gold into cash on the spot. Located on South Broadway in Forest City, or call them at 245-3551. Your one-stop Christmas shop. When the custom cake has to be perfect, it needs to come from Southern Belle Cakes by Nikki Lee. Weddings, birthdays, baby showers, holiday cakes, call on Southern Cakes by Nikki Lee. She does amazing work for special events like school packages for teachers, special events for corporations, treat tables for any event. Nikki also has pre-packaged Christmas treats like hot cocoa bombs, cupcakes, cookies, chocolate-covered pretzels, and so much more. These will make great stocking stuffers or a surprise gift for someone special or a coworker. Give Nikki a call today at 828-896-4780. That's 896-4780. Southern Belle Cakes by Nikki Lee, voted best cake artist in Rutherford County.
It's 846. The raffle tickets available here at WCAB for the Chamber Reverse. That's not a reverse raffle, but it's a raffle. And the drawing's going to be held on 17th of December right here live in the studio. And we'll broadcast that over our web system or online. We'll also do that on Facebook, so you'll know instantly who the winners are going to be. Now we're taking away from the heavy news, heavy stuff, and letting Milton Crabapple fill us in on news from his vantage point.
A lot of folks are looking for work in the country today. I have folks come by the jail all the time, want to fill out an application. I talk to them. I don't want to just turn them away. I let them fill out an application. Sometimes I'll keep the application if the particular individual impresses me. Sometimes after they leave, I just wad it up and throw it in the trash can. But you know, a fella that's been wearing a 10 star as long as I have learns how to deal with people. And you can spot something suspicious, and you can tell when somebody's up to no good and don't need to be trusted. Last week, I had a fella come by looking for a job as a deputy, and I talked to him. Seemed like a nice guy. But I decided that fella was up to something no good. I got to talking with him, and I said, come out back from it. I said, can you shoot? He said, well, of course I can shoot. So I give him my Colt 45 pistol, went out back, and I threw the soft drink can on the ground over there. I said, let's see you hit that can. Well, he shot about 5 times at that can, hit the can every time. But what made me suspicious was that before he gave the pistol back to me, he took his handkerchief out and wiped all his fingerprints off of it. I decided I didn't want to hire that guy. I threw his application in the trash can. But you know, you got to have a positive outlook. Positive outlook is the most important thing you can have in the world today. If you stay positive, positive things are going to happen. If you're negative, you can look for negative things to happen. Now, Grandpa Crabapple kept a positive outlook all of his life, from the day he was born till the day he died. He always looked on the bright side of things, no matter how bad they were. He was always looking for something positive. He fought the depression, drought, locust, alkali water, you name it, he was up against it. But he never lost his positive outlook. I remember the day he passed away, he was on his deathbed. All the neighbors and friends and relatives come and gathered around the house to be with him on his last day. Grandma Crabapple went back in the bedroom to check on him, and he said, Grandma, what's that commotion going on out there? She said, well, Grandpa, all the neighbors, relatives, friends have all come by to say goodbye to you. He said, well, where are they going? Always kept a positive outlook. You know, I talk about religion a lot of times. I'm a religious person. I go to one of them real old time hellfire and brimstone churches, Mount St. Helens Baptist Church. And you know, that's one of them old churches where when you get religion, you let folks know about it. We make lots of noise. We get excited about religion, but in some churches ain't that way. Some of these big churches especially, you go in there and it looks like you're at a funeral or like you're at a wedding or something. Well, you don't hear a peep out of nobody, and everybody just sits there and don't move. I visited one of them churches a while back. A friend of mine down in Atlanta, I sat on the front row of the church. Well, I was listening to the preacher, and he said something I liked, and I agreed with, and I just clapped my hands together. I said, amen, brother. Well, everybody in that church cut their eyes around there and started staring at me. Directly, he said something else I liked, and I stomped my foot on the floor and said, hallelujah. Well, I seen this usher coming down the aisle. Come down there, and he leaned over to me, and he said, what's wrong with you making this noise in church? I said, well, I found religion. He said, well, you didn't find it in here. I said, now you better hush up. We got us a new preacher this year, our old preacher, the Reverend Mr. Crabapple. He retired. We got us a new preacher, a young fella. He's a ball of fire, too. Right long-winded, though, sometimes. He don't know when to quit preaching. One Sunday, he just kept on preaching, and after the service was over, I was out front talking to him. I said, young fella, I said, anybody ever told you that they could just sit and listen to you preach all day long? He said, well, no, they never have. I said, well, what gave you that idea then? But you know, first thing he did when he came to our church was he went around doing visitation, going around visiting folks. Wanted to invite everybody to church in Crabapple. He was just dropping in on everybody in town. He went by the widow Wilson's house, knocked on the door, and he never could get her to come to the door, so he just took his business card out of his pocket and he wrote on the back of that business card, Revelations 3:20. Well, she got her Bible and looked up Revelations 3:20, and it said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. Well, Sunday come around, after church, everybody was shaking the preacher's hand. She handed him a little note folded up, and he looked at that note and it said, Genesis 3:10. Well, he opened his Bible up to Genesis and read Genesis 3:10. It said, I heard the sound of thee in the garden, and I was afraid. Because I was naked. And I hid myself. But he's a good preacher. He's got a young boy about 10 years old, and that little boy a while back went all over Crabapple telling everybody that his daddy owned hell. And I said, if that ain't something. He come by the jail, he was telling me about it. He said, my daddy owns hell. I said, how do you know he does? He said, well, he said he did. I said, well, where'd he get hell? And he said, well, he come home and told my mama that to give it to him at the deacon's meeting the other night. You never know. But folks is funny about the preachers. Funny about the preachers. We had a big rainstorm up in Crabapple a while back. It rained about 3 or 4 inches one night, and the big creek got up over the road, and folks couldn't get down the road, and this one fella decided he was going to try to make it in his pickup truck, and that water got a hold of that truck and turned the truck over. Washed it off in the ditch, and the fella was trapped in there, and there was a bunch of folks stopping trying to get him out of that truck. Had the tow truck down there, and he was trapped in there, and that water was just rising by the minute, and it looked like he was a goner. Well, finally, he told the tow truck driver, he said, I want you to do me a favor quick. He said, run get the Baptist preacher quick and get him down here. He said, I'll go get him. He started leaving. He thought about it. He said, you say the Baptist preacher? He said, that's what I said. He said, well, I thought you went to the Methodist church. He said, I do, but he said, I hate to call my preacher out on a night like this. Folks are funny about the preachers. You know, Crabapple is a sleepy little town. Ain't much going on in Crabapple most of the time, but every now and then something will happen to let us know that we're just right neck deep in the 20th century. We got the same problems the rest of the world does. About a month ago, I was sitting in the jail, and Dude, my deputy, third cousin, he called me up and he said, Sheriff, you best get over to the Crabapple soda fountain, lickety-split. He said, you ain't gonna believe who's in the Crabapple soda fountain sitting at a table back in the back. He's got on a disguise, got on some sunglasses and a hat and a big coat, and he's drinking a cherry smash. You ain't gonna believe who it is. I said, well, who is it? He said, you ain't gonna believe. I said, well, who is it? He said, it's Elvis Presley. I said, well, you just sit right there. I'll be right over there. So I walked in, and Dude, my brother O.C., and Doc Hollifield, they was all sitting up at the front table. And I seen this fella sitting back in the back all by himself, big fella. Looked like he did have on kind of a disguise. So I walked back there and just introduced myself to him, sat down at the table with him, and struck up a conversation with him. Well, it was obvious once you got face to face with the fella across the table, listened to him talk, looked him in the eyes, it was obvious it weren't Elvis Presley. They done got all excited for nothing. It definitely was not Elvis Presley. It was Jimmy Hoffa.
Hope you've enjoyed some of the humor from Milton Crabapple. You've requested to bring you back, so a little humor this morning with Milton Crabapple. What a time and what a place. Got to make room now for My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up a little after 9:05 this morning. I'll see you back here bright and early in the Blue Room tomorrow morning with the first hour of the morning wake-up call.
WCAB Rutherford.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
Requirements on public transportation and airplanes and more rolled up sleeves.
The Biden administration's new strategy to fight COVID-19 over the winter months puts a big emphasis on booster shots, with experts urging Americans to get that extra dose for added protection. Pharmacies will expand locations and hours to administer booster shots through December. The Biden administration will increase its outreach efforts through a public education campaign aimed at seniors and new family vaccination clinics that can be a one-stop shop for kids' vaccines, adult vaccines, and booster shots. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Congress coming up against another deadline to fund the government. House lawmakers say they have reached a stopgap deal. Senate lawmakers, not so.
The latest hurdle is a handful of Republican senators who say they will not vote to keep the government funded unless Congress also blocks funding for President Biden's vaccine mandates for businesses. Now, most Republicans are against this strategy, but if an agreement is not reached by Friday at midnight, the government will run out of money.
ABC's Rachel Scott on Capitol Hill. Actor Alec Baldwin telling ABC's George Stephanopoulos in an exclusive interview he did not shoot the gun that went off on the set of Rust, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
A lawyer for the movie's assistant director confirms that, saying Baldwin's finger was outside the trigger guard when it happened. Labor Department reporting 222,000 Americans filed first-time unemployment benefits last week. Since topping 900,000 in early January, the weekly applications have been falling steadily. Dow futures up 200 points. You're listening to ABC News.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialize in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
For the first time since the 90s, Major League Baseball is locking out the players. The league and the players' union failing to reach a deal on a new collective bargaining agreement. Money the main issue. The players say they deserve more. A former Department of Justice official in the Trump administration is being given one more chance to speak to the congressional committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. And after the committee yesterday voted to hold Jeffrey Clark in contempt for failing to cooperate, the chairman of the committee announced Clark would be allowed to appear before a deposition this weekend. Clark expected to invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. General Motors making another push into electric cars.
General Motors says it's forming a joint venture with South Korea's POSCO Chemical to build a North American battery materials plant. Details are still being worked out, including where the plant will be located. The factory will supply the materials to make the center of a battery. The announcement comes the same time that GM is raising its financial guidance, saying thanks to an improved supply of computer chips, the automaker expects a return to a normal production rate by the end of next year. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Jeffrey the Giraffe is back. The Toys R Us chain, which closed all of its locations 3 years ago during bankruptcy, is opening up a new store at a New Jersey mall. Toys R Us is expected to open in the next couple of weeks for all the last-minute holiday shoppers. This is ABC News.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, you're paying too much. Switching to Pure Talk saves the average family over $800 a year. Just dial pound 250 and say Jill 50 to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, say Jill 50.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. The warm-up continues and we'll see temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s this afternoon. We'll see a day full of sunshine as well. Expect a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. For tonight, we'll see a mostly clear sky. Temperature starting in the mid to upper 40s for your Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see another mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Staying just as warm on Saturday, but temperatures slightly cooler on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
46 degrees currently in the sunny skies. It's going to be another beautiful day here in the neighborhood. Warming up to 72 with a lot of sun and wind gusting to 17 miles per hour. So enjoy the day, folks.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch. A conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. Got to flip over here so I can get to you.
Yeah, there's a little flow that we have in the morning, and often what you'll do too is if you're fighting that post-nasal drip, you'll take one deep breath and swing around here, get your microphone ready to go. And
wave at the camera.
We'll wave at the camera and remind people that we love and care for each other, and we're brothers trying to just bring light and life to Rutherford County, and we've been doing that now for over a year. And as we anticipate next year, we're really going to try to go to a deeper place and help God lead and direct us. You know, this morning, I was remembering again, Jim, of course, as you get older, one of the things that I found, and it's true for my mother and a lot of the octogenarians that I know, folks in their 80s and 90s, even younger folks, but they start to look at the obituaries to see who's died. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yes, that's a big event here.
Is that something you do?
No, I don't. Well, I read them every morning. I read the death announcements every morning because people want to know if the friends have passed on or...
Right, and you know, we're often told at my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, that when you have a memorial service for somebody, it really is a snapshot of their life. It really is a reflection of their life. So this morning, is I was just remembering again, folks that I've known that have gone on before. There was actually a broadcaster, the founder of Daystar, Christian, and Marcus and Joni Lamb, I knew back in the day in Dallas when I was there, and you know, life is short. It says in the New Testament that it's like the steam off a cooking pot. And I was reminded of a verse that I learned back at Baraka Baptist Church when I was young, and when all the verses that I learned were King James only. Psalm 90:12. This is in the Amplified. So, teach us to number our days, that we may cultivate and bring to you a heart of wisdom. There's something about recognizing, not in a maudlin way, not in a depressed way, but realizing that every single day we are held accountable for the stewardship of our life. It says in Scripture, God's got a book, and that book is His anticipation of the life that He's created for us. And we're going to be accountable for a key question, which is, did you live the book? Did you live today's page of that book? So when I get up in the mornings more and more, Jim, and I fail and I go to Jesus and I repent when I'm off base on this, but I really more and more only want to do and say and think what God has planned for me for the day. And we know every Tuesday and Thursday the plan is for us to come together and to share. But it's important in an environment where the data shows that only 11% of Americans read their Bible every day. 89% of Americans either only occasionally read their Bible or never read it at all.
There's so much wisdom there, so much guidance and inspiration there.
Well, and if you're not hearing in your heart and expressing in your life what God has to say, you're going to be torn and pulled every which direction, and that is not at all what we need to do or certainly want to do.
And our great America was built on the foundation of the Bible.
Absolutely, and for everyone that is wanting to scrub history of any references to God, any references to holiness, any references to righteousness, take out the biblical foundation for our nation, that is not just an opinion. That is a diabolical, evil threat.
Yes.
That is inspired and bubbled up out of the cauldron of what we would call Satan's domain. And we are not going to let that happen on our watch. And as God gives us the power and the strength and the authority that is not self-defined but comes from an understanding of His Word, His authority, the God of the universe, the sovereign God, the omnipresent, the omniscient God, the God of all things, the name above all names, if we don't anchor our thoughts, our words, and our deeds in that, Jim, we're going to be just pulled all over the road like some drunken sailor trying to find his way back to his ship. And that's not what we're going to do. Now, what happens, too, is that America, unfortunately, one of the things that has encroached upon the greatness of America is that we have sacrificed in so many parts of the population around the country a sense of really inquiring, is that of God, what I'm hearing right now? And you look at what's happening with news broadcasters today. The whole Cuomo thing is just the tip of the iceberg. There's an organized, active threat. Satan is referred to, one of the monikers of Satan, the evil one, is the prince and the power of the air. And I've always thought, Jim, that part of the interpretation of that can include broadcasting. The prince and the power of the air. The Poynter Institute came out yesterday with a report, Jim, and this is so incredible. What they said is that they went around the world and looked at the 46 countries with the most active media enterprises, radio, television, print, the internet, and asked the question, where is the most trust in the media? And you know where the United States ranked in those 46 countries? Last.
A shame.
Last.
It's a shame.
And so you have got to hear from God as you're consuming news, and you've got to even ask the question, is this something that I need to put inside of my heart, my mind, my spirit, and my daily walk? Because I can't tell you the number of times I'll have people say, hey, I heard such and such, and you'll ask them to fact check. Okay, really? And we're so quick to form opinions, and one of the things that I love is that in my church, we're taught that opinions are just that, and opinions are typically a place where a lot of the devil's activity will be anchored. We're interested in truth.
And you can plant that seed in people's minds, even if you're asking a question that somebody else has rumored to be true. You plant that seed of doubt in somebody's mind, and it continues to grow. Before you know it, it's a big blown story.
It's the old story that's told about the circle of children, and you tell one and tell one and tell one. When you get to the end, it's a completely different story. And so, folks, please, I implore you, make sure that when Scripture says be slow to speak and swift to hear, I'm really asking Jesus to help me take that to heart more and more, Jim. Because the reality is our life is the aggregation of our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. And Scripture makes it very clear. We've been taught this recently in my church, again, that we're going to give an account. We'll be justified or condemned by our words. Now, on this day in 1950, something very significant happened. Let me read this real quickly. Science fiction has a way of predicting the future. Jules Verne envisioned humans on the moon. George Orwell foretold the dangers of a surveillance state. William Gibson wrote of a connected society nearly decades before the internet. But no science fiction novel has had as profound an effect on science as Isaac Asimov's I, Robot, published on this day in 1950. The book imagines the rise of intelligent machines until they ultimately pose a threat to humanity, a fear humans haven't shaken since. And you know what? With the rise of artificial intelligence, some of the articles that are coming out that are from the military talking about, for example, China trying to pull together and meld together machine and man. What's happening, folks, is a recreation of God's creation. That is what's taking place. And the impulse of that is not coming from a heavenly place. And so as recently as 1950, Isaac Asimov envisioned artificial intelligence. And we shouldn't be fearful, but we need to be very aware of what's taking place around us, because as we often talk about with the frog in the kettle, we can be so unaware, Jim, that these small encroaching changes are taking place, and all of a sudden you wake up and you say, what happened? Well, what happened is that we were not diligent. We were not watchmen on the walls. We were not keeping up a godly periscope, looking around and yelling out with the lantern, you know, they're coming, they're coming. Well, the reality is a lot of these things are here now, and that's why, for example, the Supreme Court debate on abortion is so important. And let me just make this clear. We should not be satisfied with a 15-week threshold. We cannot be satisfied with that. Life is precious. Why do so many women go through grief counseling when they have a miscarriage? Why, if it's not life? And the data is clear. So clear. I mean, you have people that are distraught because they know that a life was lost, or a stillborn child. And so we can't be satisfied by saying, you know, that Mississippi law was upheld, and so after 15 weeks, you can't have an abortion. We have got to be passionate and persistent when it comes to life, don't we?
Absolutely, we do. And we do encourage women to really think about that before they do an abortion. But those folks who have already had that done,
right,
there is forgiveness.
Exactly.
God can forgive people for making those kind of mistakes. Don't carry that burden around with you all your life, because we make mistakes, and that is a mistake. But those people who have not yet done that, anticipating having an abortion, don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it. There are many families out there would love to have a baby, they can't have them. Adoption is certainly a great way to go.
Well, and you know, I was on the board of Holt International Children's Services in Eugene, Oregon for a number of years. 2 of our children were adopted. There have been over 72,000 children adopted from Russia. Our daughter, and until Putin squashed that, the only country that can adopt out of Russia today, I believe, is Italy. But our daughter Tatiana was in the first group of 30 to 50 children. I was over in Moscow for weeks trying to get her out of that country. All we know is that her father was likely an alcoholic and a laborer. She was left at a train station. There was a woman named Vera Kadiva who brought her to an orphanage. Vera was somebody that was a spinster. She was single, older, and she was at First Baptist Church in Moscow. God took our daughter and brought her into our family, and life is absolutely precious. Our son Samuel, he was 7 months old when I went to get him in Seoul, Korea. He was had a situation where a mother could not keep the baby and relinquished him for adoption. He became our son. He's my son. You know, he's in his 4th year of medical school. He's about to consider residencies around the country. UNC Chapel Hill is one of the residencies, and if it's God's will, it would be great to have him there. But the point of all of that is life is precious. And, you know, I have people that get stirred at me because in the county, I won't give names, but there are people that get especially stirred because I was so ingrained in Democratic activities. You know, I'm saying this with humility. I don't know that anybody else in the county got checks from the Obama campaign for work that they did. And I've repented of that, and people are aware of that. But
if they did, they aren't admitting it.
Well, right, they're not admitting it. But I will admit it, and I've confessed that was wrong. But Jim, here's the problem. You know, Barack Obama infamously disparaged Bible and gun-toting Americans who live in small towns. He said once, "It's not surprising," said Obama, "that they get bitter and cling to guns or religion or antipathy for people who aren't like them, or anti-immigrant or anti-trade," and he was basically disparaging Christians. And I used to do the same thing until I came to a realization, Butch, you are an architect for false religion, and you're an architect for the synagogue of Satan. God had to make it very clear to me, and metaphorically, I was knocked off my horse, and God's continuing to surface in me, Jim, things that were so deeply ingrained, because, you know, a little leaven spoils the loaf, and my loaf was spoiled, even though it looked very much like the king's dainties, which, of course, Daniel rejected. And so this morning, again, I was asking myself the question, which, what was it that God put on your heart that causes you to believe today that it's that you can't be a Democrat and be a follower of Jesus. And I'm not going to pronounce that for everyone, but for me, I cannot. And here are the reasons why. The first is there's an active recreating of God's creation, a redefining of marriage, a sense of if you don't like the way you were born, you could change it. You know, a sense of whatever orientation you want to come up with, you can monogram your life. That's not what Scripture says. Because we have a country that doesn't have people reading Scripture, only 11% read it every day, there are a lot of people that don't know what God says. If you don't know what God says, you're going to fall for anything that man, especially people that are sophists, that are so persuasive, are going to put out to you. Number one is there's an active recreating of God's creation. Number two, there's not a holding to the value of life. You cannot just turn a blind eye to 63 million aborted fetuses in this nation. No. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The blood of those fetuses, I believe, cements curses on this nation. And unless we repent as a country, we are not going to see the blessing of God. We cannot presume that that will happen.
I agree with
God does not walk around these major wounds and transgressions as a nation. Number three, there is an abiding belief, and this is not someone else's list. This is the list that God gave me. There's an abiding belief that government has more capability and responsibility to raise our children than parents. That somehow there is an all-knowing think tank we call government that's going to know best how to raise children. Scripture makes it very clear. Train up a child in the way they should go. That's not saying government. It's not saying Health and Human Services. It's not saying the National Education Association. And when they're old, they won't depart from it. There's a belief that government has more capability to raise our children than parents. Four, there's a conviction that national sovereignty is less important than globalism. Being a good global citizen, whether it's climate change, whether it's the arms race, is more important than national sovereignty. And God makes it very clear that he does work through nations. Read the Old Testament. Read the Old Testament. So there's a sense that national sovereignty is less important than globalism. Five, there's a failure to understand, and it's a biblical principle, that peace comes through strength. You know, there's a sense of everybody is good at heart. Let's just let them be good. Well, ask the shop owners in Portland or Seattle or Chicago how the goodness in the hearts of people that's inherently there is working out for them these days when you've got a smash and grab that's going on. I'm starting to sound like Jim Bishop.
You go, guy. You go.
And you've got this smile on your face, but it's burning in me. Six, there's a stoking of fear. There is collusion between the Democratic Party and media outlets to stoke fear. Why? Because in the absence of having a personal relationship with Jesus and recognizing and submitting to the authority of God as expressed in Scripture, people want a Savior. And they're misplacing and misdirecting that impulse for a Savior and looking north from where we are to Washington saying, save us. They're looking in the wrong place for a Savior. And then number seven is a mocking of faith. I mean, you look, I don't watch, I'll just say this, I don't have a television, I don't watch television, and that's out of a conviction. And that's all I'll say. But I will tell you this, popular programming mocks faith.
Yes.
It mocks fathers, the authority of fathers and families, it mocks faith, popular literature does the same. So for those seven reasons, Jim, there's no turning back for me.
Yeah.
And the people that knew Butch as a Democratic operative, a creative writer, somebody that could speak as an oracle with Satan's words, hate the fact that like lizard skin, that's been shedding off of me, and it is a real sharp hickory stick in their eye. And they wail, and I get notes sometimes saying, you've just been accosted by a cult, you're in a terrible community, it's a prejudiced place, and the wheels have come off, and I've heard all sorts of things. But you know what I love? I love that I don't care because God said you're going to have to stand before me someday. Yeah. You're not trying to run to win the Alumni of the Year award.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Our ultimate test of time is coming, and how we have held ourselves through life is going to be the reason we're stand accountable.
In Scripture. So that's my diatribe. That was deep in my heart this morning.
Well, those are very effective. Those are right, though. You're right on money, right on the target.
And you know, now let me also say this: family is so important. Whether it's the family of faith in the church that you're in, your family of origin. I want to say this quickly with our 5 or 6 minutes that we have left. I have come to appreciate the family that God put me in. My boompa, who came over, he had 14 children from Sweden, who had the diligence. I mentioned this on Tuesday. This is from 1898. It's his journal for that 1 year, 1898.
Wow, what a treasure.
And he was so. We have people that call here that are focused on the weather. He was really focused on the weather. He had details every day about how much snow, the wind, and all that. But let me give you an example of what's in here. Of course, this was during the Spanish and American War. And so he was very preoccupied with that. So there are a bunch of clippings, newspaper clippings that are in here. And here is one, for example. San Juan's surrender at 6 p.m. Thursday reported. Here's the headline. Spain's crazy gunners hit Samson once in 430 shots. How San Juan's old forts melted away before his great guns. The American loss was but 1 killed and 7 wounded. He was so proud of America. He's got all these clippings that are in here. Here's the one. Hostilities are now ended. Instructions sent to all generals to suspend further movements. The Secretary of War has cabled instructions. Coolidge here. Instructions to the generals against the enemy. General Miles was instructed to inform the Spanish commander in Puerto Rico of these orders received from his home government. So he's got all these clippings that are in here. I found those. And then, you know what, Jim? In an environment where so many people are saying, you know what, I'm out of work, and I just can't wait for that next government check to come in. I also found this stack. Kenneth Maltby was my father. He was a pilot. He got furloughed from American Airlines. You know what I found? I found how diligently he was looking for work so he could support his 4 little children. We had to move up to Lancaster, Pennsylvania from Texas because he was furloughed and didn't have a job. I'll give you one example. Here's a letter. And by the way, these are letters that came back from TWA, Saudi American Airlines, Mohawk Airlines, New Hampshire Ball Bearing, Atlantic Aviation, 3M, Dow Chemical, Minnesota Mining Manufacturing, Raymond International. I mean, it's just filled with letters that are responses that he had sent out saying, do you have a job? Here's one example. This came from Trans World Airways, now defunct. Thank you for applying for overseas employment through TWA. For your information, TWA is the contract agent for employment purposes and hires for both Ethiopian Airlines and Saudi American Airlines. As you may know, requirements for foreign service are rigid, and the service of highly skilled personnel only are utilized. Therefore, it's important that the applicant have several years' experience in the field and be capable of assuming responsibility without further training and little supervision. So they talked to him about a job in Saudi Arabia. Jim, I might have ended up over in Saudi Arabia. But, you know, the thing that just struck me is my father, who died at 61, he died an untimely death. He was so diligent in wanting to provide for his family. There's a whole stack of these letters. And we have got to get back to the place where we recognize that God's given us initiative. He's told us to take care of our families. And whether it's my boompa, you know, keeping a journal, or my father diligently trying to, and just to put a closure on that story, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, my dad was recalled to active duty, and he went back into the Air Force, which is how he started his flying career, and that was God's provision for our family. But I'm just so grateful. It's like the stones of remembrance in the Old Testament. Recognize those places, as God instructed the children of Israel, to tell your children, tell your grandchildren, you see these stones? That was the place where everything seemed impossible. That's when the Egyptian army was coming, and the water was right behind us, lapping at our heels. This is what God did. This is when there was an attack on us, and this is what God did. And so faith is inspired as we share with each other the impossible circumstances that we face, but then we cried out and said, Jesus, help me. And as we do that, God will respond. He'll respond to a heartfelt cry of somebody who's desperate. But there's no deliverance, I'm learning in my life, without desperation. We've got to be desperate. As the deer cries out for the water brook, so my soul cries out for you. We've got to get to that place.
Very inspiring. God bless America.
God bless America, Jim.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Hello and happy Thursday. The warm-up continues in